Lesson 10.7 is over writing and graphing equations of circles. Now, this isn't something we do a whole lot of in this particular class, but it is used in your pre-cal class and possibly Algebra 2. The reason for doing equations of circles is they're used a lot in science. Finding the epicenter of an earthquake, if you need to find the center of the circle given a point on its perimeter, or finding the radius of the circle given a point on its perimeter, or the center point. All right, so we're going to start off with defining the standard equation of a circle. It's the center of the circle is recognized as point HK. So instead of XY like we normally have, we're going to call it HK, where H represents the X coordinate and K represents the Y coordinate. And the radius is R, the letter R. So when you write the formula, it will look like this. X minus H in parentheses squared plus Y minus K in parentheses squared equals R squared. Now if you think about it, this looks just like the distance formula. Subtract your x's and square them, subtract your y's and square them. You take the square root of that and you get the distance. We've lost the radical, but our answer is in the form of the radius being squared. So if we were to put this under a radical, then that would be equal to just R. All right, so the first example, write the standard equation of a circle with the center being 0, -5, and a radius being 3.7. So here's your formula. Remember that H represents the X coordinate, which in this case would be 0. K represents the Y coordinate, which in this case would be -5. And our radius is 3.7. Now, x minus 0 is nothing more than just x. So x to the second power, we simplify that and just write it as x squared, no parentheses. Y minus a -5 is written as y plus 5, and that is all in parentheses squared. 3.7 squared would be 13.69. So this is what our equation would look like for a circle that has a center of 0, -5 and a radius of 3.7. Okay, the next example. Write the standard equation of a circle with center -3, -5 and radius 6.1. So this is your H and this is your K in your formula. So we're going to write it out as x minus, in this case we have a -3, parentheses squared, plus y minus a -5 in parentheses squared, and that equals the radius squared. So now we simplify. When you subtract a negative, you get a positive, plus subtract a negative, you get a positive. Then 6.1 squared is 37.21. Excuse me. Okay, this is what your equation of this circle would look like. Now, number 3, we're given a point on a circle, so that means it's somewhere on its perimeter. So if you were to draw a circle, -1, 2 would be somewhere on that circle. And then its center is 3, -3. Write the standard equation of a circle. Well, we know we need the center. This is H and this is K, but we also need the radius. If we were to find the distance between the center and the point, that would be the length of our radius. So we're going to start out using the distance formula. So we're going to make a note here saying find the radius, oops, misspelled radius, by using the distance formula. Okay, there you go. You can see that now. All right, so the distance formula is equal to, and it's going to look just like this, just like this. We subtract our x's, square them. We subtract our y's, square them, and we put it all under a radical. So we've got the square root of x minus our other x plus y minus our other y okay, so now simplify. -1 minus 3 is -4. -4 squared is a positive 16. 2 minus a -3, that would be the same as 2 plus 3, which is 5. 5 squared is 25. All of that is under the radical. 16 plus 25 is 41. Now, the square root of that is about 6.4. And this is the radius. This is the radius squared. So when we go to write our formula, we have to use our center. So we're going to write it as x minus 3 squared plus y minus a -3. So that would be the same as y plus 3 squared equals, instead of putting 6.4 squared, I'm just going to go ahead and put 41, because remember we rounded this number, but before we took its square root it was 41. So I'm going to go ahead and write the radius squared as 41 so we don't get an ugly decimal. But this would be your equation of a circle with center 3, -3 and a point of -1, 2. All right, that's it.